Whoa. Oh. Wow. That was so cool. Okay, 1 minute, I was just standing there in my house, and the next, I climbed through this portal into a library. You know what this means. This must mean that I'm in a portal fantasy. And you know what? I'm going to have to learn how to navigate this whole new world that's totally different from the one that I'm used to. And I'm going to have to learn about all these amazing new people and discover how I fit in with them. But most importantly of all, I'm going to have to go on a fantastic adventure. And I'm probably going to end up saving the world. Maybe even 2 worlds. Whew, boy, this is going to be a wild ride. All right, it looks like you guys ended up here along with me. So, if we're going to be ready, we'd better read some portal fantasy so that we know what we're getting ourselves into. Lucky for you, I've got some books here that are going to help get us started. Hey everyone, it's Mr. Aaron. Welcome to Sweetwater Suggestions Middle Grade Edition, where, if you hadn't guessed from the intro, it's Portal Fantasy Week. I'm going to be showcasing 3 children's chapter books that are available at the library right now. Some are even in the digital collection. Now, just in case anyone isn't familiar, what exactly is Portal Fantasy? Well, let's find out, shall we? In Portal Fantasy, the heroes start out in the real world, otherwise known as where we all live and where you're probably watching this video right now, and something happens that causes them to get sucked through a gateway or otherwise travel to a fantastical realm full of magic and danger. One of the most well-known examples of portal fantasy is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, where Alice starts out in England and gets sucked down the rabbit hole into Wonderland. A more modern example would be The Beyonders, A World Without Heroes by Brandon Mull, where Jason Walker is visiting the zoo in Colorado, gets swallowed by a hippopotamus with a portal in its belly, and ends up in the mystical world of Lyrian, being hunted by a power-mad emperor. Whew, not the best day. Okay, so now that we know what portal fantasy is, let's dive right in with our first selection, which takes us to not 1, but 2 alternate dimensions. One is a realm rooted in the mystic tides of Indian mythology. The other is known as New Jersey. Meet Kirin Mala, interdimensional demon hunter. Only she doesn't know it yet. On the morning of her 12th birthday, Kirin Mala is just a regular 6th grader living in Parsippany, New Jersey, until her parents mysteriously vanish and a drooling Rakash demon slams through her kitchen, determined to eat her alive. Turns out there might be some truth to her parents' fantastical stories, like how Kirin Mala is a real Indian princess and how she comes from a secret place not of this world. To complicate matters, 2 crush-worthy princes ring her doorbell, insisting they've come to rescue her. Suddenly, Kirin is swept into another dimension full of magic, winged horses, moving maps, and annoying talking birds. There she must solve riddles and battle demons, all while avoiding the Serpent King of the underworld, who may or may not want to kill her, and the Rakashi Queen, who definitely does, in order to find her parents and basically save New Jersey, her entire world, and everything beyond it. Okay, first thing, can I say, I love this cover. So shiny, so awesome, girl ready to kick butt with some bow and arrow on the front. Can you ask for anything more? Answer, no. No, you cannot. And the series title, yes, this is the first in a series. This is something that really appeals to me. It's Kirin Mala and the Kingdom Beyond. I don't know what it is exactly about the word beyond that just really chimes a chord with portal fantasy, but it just does. The Serpent's Secret really strikes me as something that you're going to enjoy the heck out of if you like Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and the Olympians, or especially his Kane Chronicles books. Now, Percy Jackson shares a theme of kids discovering ties to a mythological bloodline and then having to save the world using the powers they gain from it. Just like Kiranmala in this book discovers a tie to a mystical Indian royal line in the kingdom beyond. And the Kane Chronicles may not technically be portal fantasy, but if you liked the concept of the duat in those books, the spirit world that's sort of layered on top of our own reality, I think you're going to really enjoy what the Serpent's Secret brings to the table. With all of the different factions that Kiranmala has to balance in the kingdom beyond, and the danger and suspense, they're really going to mount up in this book. Plus, I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to know what the heck the talking bird is about. So if you want an action-packed fantasy driven by mystical forces and plenty of girl power, give this one a shot. You can find the ebook on Cloud Library or the digital audio on Hoopla. Okay, I think our first visit to Indian mythology was so fun with The Serpent's Secret. We're going to continue that trend with our next book, where the stakes have never been longer? 12-year-old Aru Shah has a tendency to stretch the truth in order to fit in at school. While her classmates are jetting off to family vacations in exotic locales, she'll be spending her autumn break at home in the Museum of Ancient Indian Art and Culture, waiting for her mom to return from her latest archaeological trip. Is it any wonder that Aru makes up stories about being royalty, traveling to Paris, and having a chauffeur? One day, 3 schoolmates show up at Aru's doorstep to catch her in a lie. They don't believe her claim that the museum's lamp of Bharata is cursed, and they dare Aru to prove it. Just a quick light, Aru thinks. Then she can get herself out of this mess and never, ever fib again. But lighting the lamp has dire consequences. She unwittingly frees the Sleeper, an ancient demon whose duty it is to awaken the god of destruction. Her classmates and beloved mother are frozen in time, and it's up to Aru to save them. The way to stop the demon is to find the reincarnations of the 5 legendary Pandava brothers, protagonists of the Hindu epic poem, the Mahabharata, and journey through the kingdom of death. But how is one girl in Spider-Man pajamas supposed to do all that? Okay, so I thought we had a kick-butt protagonist in our last selection, but not only is Aru saving the entire world, she's doing it in Spider-Man pajamas. I mean, really, you just can't get cooler than that. You can try, but how? How can you possibly be cooler than saving the world in Spider-Man pajamas? Answer? You can't. So I think you're really going to enjoy this series if you liked the Wishmakers books from a few years back. In those books, some kids wake up a genie and they have to get him back into his bottle before the world gets destroyed. If you liked Fablehaven, particularly the later books in that series, I think you're also pretty likely going to enjoy this one. But I need to point out that one of my comparisons from the last title also holds true pretty strongly here. If you enjoy Kane Chronicles, Red Pyramid, Throne of Fire, etc., I think you are really going to find a lot to love in this book. The opener even has a lot of similarities to it. In both books, the protagonists wake up an ancient mythological power in a museum with disastrous consequences, and in both books they have to try and hunt down and trap the things that they let out before they can destroy the world. And in both books there's lots of awesome magic involved. Really, if you're a Rick Riordan fan, you're going to love this, which comes as no surprise at all, considering that the book is one of the first selections in a new imprint called Rick Riordan Presents, where Riordan himself is actually hand-picking books that he thinks will appeal to fans of his own, but focus on other world mythologies from the ones that you usually see in a lot of fiction. Aru Shah and the End of Time is available in print, but you can also find the ebook on Overdrive, Cloud Library, and Hoopla, but unfortunately, no digital audio through the library right now. Man, those were exciting, but I've got one last suggestion for you this week, so let's take a look. Once, our world was full of dragons who lived in harmony with humans. But after a group of rogue dragons, the Raptors, tried to take over Earth, all dragons were banished to another realm. Most humans forgot about the dragons, claiming they never existed. 11-year-old Siren knows the truth. She grew up with the stories passed down through generations. However, when her mother falls ill, even Siren has trouble believing in magic, until she sees a mysterious streak of silver in the night sky. Siren becomes the first child to lock with a dragon in centuries, forming a deep friendship unlike anything she ever imagined. But Siren learns that not all dragons returned with good intentions, and soon she finds herself at the center of a battle between dragons who want to protect humanity and those who want to destroy them. Okay, now you may have noticed in the description that this one is a little different from the other titles we've been discussing this week. Rather than the hero getting sucked through a portal to another realm, creatures from another realm are getting pulled through here. Now, some people might call this reverse portal fantasy, but the concept is similar enough I think it still fits our theme. Now, this book strikes me as one that you might really like if you enjoy that new series, The Revenge of Magic. In both series, magical creatures were here before, they get rediscovered, and they re-enter the world once we learn about them again. And in both books, that's pretty cool in some respects, but it may not be the best thing in the world all around, because once you have good and evil dragons here, what do you do with all the evil dragons? That's why these books are so exciting. You can find Rise of the Dragons in ebook on Cloud Library or digital audio on Hoopla. Well, everybody, that's all the time that we have for this week. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about these books, and I hope that we see you down at the library to check them out. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to make it back to my normal world before this portal closes. Portals can be so finicky that way. Bye!